In the previous movie, I showed you how to change the default palette arrangement into something that looks more like this, where I've created what I call this Uber palette on the right. I don't mean to communicate to you that this is the way I think you should set up your palettes. This is just the way I've set them up. I think it's appropriate for me. The point is that you can customize the Photoshop workspace to whatever works for you. I chose to create this tall, docked palette because I think it's easier to resize the Layers palette and the History palette. Those are two palettes I use most of the time, probably 90% of the time when I'm going to a particular palette, because this is where I navigate around my document and this is where I can undo and redo in History. The point is that you may now, after you've set up your workspace to suit your needs, you may want to record that or save it and give it a custom name so that if things get screwed up again or you want to have more than one of these workspace settings, you can easily switch back and forth between them. To do that, you can go to the Window menu, pull down to Workspace, and then say Save Workspace and give this a name. So we'll go ahead and hit Save. And I'll just name it something like My Uber Palette. And new to Photoshop CS2, workspaces can save more than just the palette locations. They can also save any changes you've made to the keyboard shortcuts and also any changes you've made to the menus. We'll cover that later on in a different movie. But for now, I'm just saving my palette locations the way I've configured my palettes over here on the right. I'll go ahead and hit the Save button. And now if I accidentally screw something up, if I move the Layers palette out, I ungroup it, or if I open up another palette, say the Navigator, and I've got these things all covered up on top of each other now, and I'm just wanting to get reset back to where I had saved it. I can go back to the Window menu, to Workspace, and pull down to the My Uber Palette workspace that I saved, and it just gets me right back to where I started. One other thing about palette management, again, the strategy is to set up the palettes one time, get them in the location you want them to be, and then just leave them there. To protect yourself, save it as a workspace so you can reset it back. But when you're not working with the palette, you don't necessarily need to close them and get them out of the screen. You could just simply hide them, and you can hide them with the Tab key. So if I press the Tab key in my computer, the palettes are hidden temporarily. They're not technically closed, they've just been hidden. If I hit the Tab key again, the palettes come back. So if I hit the Shift key and then Tab, hold Shift and press Tab, both on Mac and PC, I'll hide everything but the Tools palette, so it's just a slight twist on that. Sometimes it's just easier just to press the Tab key to get the palettes out of the way when you don't need to see what's going on in a palette. It can be distracting from what you're doing working on the image. Then when you want to bring the palettes back, just hit the Tab key again, and you're right back to having your palettes on your screen again. Again, what's nice about the custom menus or the custom workspaces, if I've screwed things up or if I've created two of these and I want to switch back to them, I can just go back to the Window menu, over to Workspace. This time I'm going to take us back to the default workspace where the palettes are arranged as they were when you first installed Photoshop. This could be a great spot if you wanted to set up a different workspace for a different particular task. Maybe you're doing web animation or retouching or color correcting, and you wanted to create a different workspace for each one of those workflows. If you go to the Window Workspace menu again, you'll see that Photoshop now actually ships with some of these workspaces already set up. So for instance, if I was going to do some web design work, I could switch to web design. It gives me a warning saying, hey, when you do this, some keyboard shortcuts have been changed. Would you like to apply that to this workspace? I'm just going to say no for now.